Hey, we're Suburban Bicycle Gang, and this is our podcast. Hello, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Dave.
Hey, we're gonna try and do different things on this, but basically it's all gonna be, music related.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And today we're gonna start this whole thing off with the 1978 album.
I think so.
Outlandos D'Amour.
Outlandos D'Amour by The Police.
The Police.
So we're going to focus on an album for this podcast, for the purpose of this podcast, you see.
Wow, that's, good of you to explain.
Yeah, people like that sometimes.
Cool. So I think we should just get into it, don't you?
Yeah, we should just hit play on the gramophone over there.
Oh.
And then we'll discuss it at length until there's nothing else left to discuss. Like, people have talked about this album for so long. It's been out for so long. So why are we, waiting 20, 30 years to talk about it?
Well, I think people want to know what we have to say about this.
You figure? You think so?
How could they not?
Yeah, I agree. People definitely want to hear what we have to say about this album.
Right?
Yeah.
And so this is the first song, Next to You.
I think that might be too loud even. Because if it's too loud, then it's going to overpower the vocals. But
you're getting old, man.
And it's also we're going to get instantly demonetized on YouTube if we post it.
No.
But oh well, we don't care about the money.
Yeah.
We just care about
talking,
our opinions, and promoting our opinions. That's what I care about.
For sure. But yeah, this is the first song, and it's
Next to You.
It's quite the starter.
Yeah, it's one of the great starting songs ever on an album.
Ever.
I think so. I think this is can you think of another album that has a great starting song that is as great as this one?
Oh, off the top of my head.
Yeah. No? Nothing comes to mind?
No, not right away.
But do you listen to albums still, or do you just listen to the singles on Spotify? You just listen to Spotify randomly like most people now?
No, I'm still doing I do a bit of that, but I still do the albums. I like
You'll listen to things sequentially?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so then you must have some, albums that in the sequence, the first song just is really good.
Yeah,
you just can't think of it at the moment.
Put me on the spot. Yeah.
I could probably think of some good ones.
I don't know. I'm sure.
How about we can talk about the punk aspect of this. Would you call this punk music, punk rock, or?
Well, yet this song particularly is got more elements of that than anything.
And what makes something punk rock?
I don't know.
Really Is it the production? Is it the attitude? Is it the instrumentation?
Definitely attitude.
Yeah. And at what point did the Police sell out? Or did they sell out?
Oh, wow, you're already going there. We're on the first
Might
song.
as well.
They didn't do that till 86 or something, didn't they?
And what did they do?
I don't know. Isn't that the last album?
Every Breath You Take.
Synchronicity.
Is that where they sold out? Did they sell out in terms of the videos? I think they were always essentially the same, kind of self-absorbed kind of band of people that they're egotistical people. Rock people are generally pretty egotistical.
Sure, but for the purpose of this album,
yeah, they had videos for this album. This album had some videos.
Yeah, I know, but that was a pretty killer first song.
That was and then this song.
Exactly.
This album has all the hits on it, actually. It's got
it's got a good chunk.
It's got a good chunk of songs that could be singles or considered classic.
Yeah,
classics.
This is a classic.
This is definitely another. Well, this is also a single.
Yeah. Well.
And the last one, I think, was a single, too.
I was going to ask you. I wasn't sure if it was.
I think it was, but I'm not sure.
Huh.
This one definitely is. I think there's 3 singles on this album, maybe.
Okay. And this is
At
one
least.
of them?
Yeah, So Lonely, Roxanne,
Yeah.
and what else is on there? I forget. We'll hear it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't know. They were kind of a band that mixed a lot of styles.
Oh, definitely. They had the reggae
Right.
going with punk, like we talked about. You know, jazz, a lot of people say too, right? So
They're a little jazzy, a little
definitely talented.
little side. They think a little bit, you know, sideways. They kind of do weird moves,
Yeah.
and the drums are kind of. That's what one of the main reasons I like it is because of the drums.
Yeah.
Stewart Copeland.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about him like he's the greatest drummer. Where do you put him in the pantheon, or do you like? Are you much aware of him? Like,
Oh no, I'm definitely aware of him. He's like I mean, the Police were never too big for me personally. I mean, you know, everybody knows him and knows the songs like this one, right? But but definitely was aware of his skills, right? Like this, I mean, I used, you know, as a drummer too, right? Like you pay attention to cool sounds, and this guy's got a lot of them, right? So yeah, he's definitely up there.
yeah.
You know.
Well, what do you like about his drumming?
Well, I love his. I'm a big reggae guy. I like that sound, right? And I like how he fused it into a pop punk kind of sound, right? Like it's, you know, I don't.
Sorry to interrupt, but this solo specifically is a weird solo.
Yeah.
It almost seems that like he fucked it up somehow, and then they just kept it.
Yeah. Well, I watched this live, and he killed it, and they extended it. Like, I watched it live in like '79, and they like it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've seen some of those old Police videos where they play live around that time, and
Copeland's kit was really cool. Just the setup.
Yeah, he always had a cool kit. Like, it was always a little bit expanded.
Well, he had the toms, and then he had like the rack of toms on top of it. And then a splash to his right.
Yeah.
Of that, so it's really cool how he used it.
Yeah, I've even seen him with the like a completely separate, you know, where he's actually playing like a glockenspiel over here,
Really?
or whatever. He'll play like some chimes, and then he'll just jump back on the drums and keep drumming.
That's cool.
So stuff like that he'll do. He's very. I've watched more recent stuff with him in his studio, and just the amount of crazy like exotic gear that he has is pretty awesome, you know. So he's like a collector of instruments and things like that. I think he's always maybe been like that. So that's pretty neat. And you can hear it in the sounds. It sort of suggests different things that other bands wouldn't think to use. Like even though it's a stripped down sound, there's just something a little bit different about it, I think.
Yeah.
So that makes it interesting. But as far as them being, you know, commercially, you know, a commercial band, I think they were aiming for it at this point, even with
From what
some of these songs.
when I've read about them, it's not a lot. That sounds like it was Copeland and Sting got together. And Copeland was trying to get him into this kind of sound because he's seen it as being, you know, commercially viable, and that's ultimately how he got him, Sting, to go along with him.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, they're sensing something, right? In the British New Wave, like the second British attack on America.
Yeah. Yeah, like 1978 or something.
Yeah, in that area.
When this came out. But I also at one point read Sting's autobiography.
Oh, okay.
And something popped in my head where he was on a cruise ship for a while or something. So before he joined the band, he was doing cruises.
Like crooning?
I think so. Like, well, he was in some kind of cruise band, like cruise ship band.
That's great.
Doing stuff. And then these guys, and then I recently listened to something on the Police where they were saying how, you know, they saw his songs as pretty like pussed out.
Okay.
And then they would make them more rock, I guess.
Okay.
Like they're kind of cheesy, and they would rough them up a bit.
Right.
Which makes sense because, you know, well, even this is a weird song. just the concept of it.
Yeah. Great backing vocals going on too.
Yeah, I always
throughout this
appreciate
whole album.
This reminds me of when I used to jam out in Baden at this farmhouse, and the one guy out there was obsessed with Sting, I guess, or just his singing.
Okay.
And he just wanted to sing like Sting and sort of try to aim for that. And just at that point, I just remember thinking how weird his vocals were and how, because he would try to sing some of that stuff, and I'm like, wow, you really have to be able to hit some crazy notes to sing like Sting.
Yeah. Some really good singing already on this album, right? Like, what are we, 3?
This
4?
is song 3, yeah.
So, in there's 2 classics.
Yeah, well, the first 3 songs are like basically instant classics.
Yeah,
I think, and then
it's hard to argue with.
Yeah, like they're awesome, and everybody like loves the Police. That they have a huge fan base, right?
Yeah,
they're world class band, and it's interesting just that they started like this, but this still fits into like stadium friendly.
It does too, right? Yeah.
So even though it's sort of punky, and it's not punky in the same way that like Blink 182 is punky.
No.
Even though they also play stadiums, but these guys maybe helped to popularize the sound of punk in a way that made it stadium friendly or something.
Yeah.
That's a theory I could just say right now.
Well, they were kind of regarded as like the leaders of that next wave of British rock, right? So.
Yeah.
You could definitely say they're, pioneers in that field, like, especially at that time with the technology they had, able to get better sound out of the stadium, right? So.
Mm-hmm. But also, just if you listen to this album, even though it's probably was a lower budget than their other future albums, it still doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty good.
That song in particular is really slick. The production is fantastic. But
I still wouldn't call it the same as their, like, 5 years later, the production they had on some of the other songs they did.
Oh, definitely like Synchronicity.
This doesn't sound like Synchronicity.
No, it's not even close.
But it still sounds like a band that it still has a live feel.
Yeah. Like
a live off the floor, and then with some overdubs, I guess.
Yeah, and I love this song.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool groove, right?
There's a hole in my
life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just known people over the years that have been pretty big fans of the Police, and it's always just sort of random people that I bump into that have some kind of Police.
I mean,
fetish.
this has got jazz components with reggae, and it's a neat song.
Yeah, and so many people I think talk trash about Sting because he got kind of schmaltzy.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
point.
like that's kind of always what he really wanted to do anyways, right? So it's like, it's good for you then, I don't know, but this is great.
Yeah, it's a different sound of, rock or reggae or whatever. But it's an interesting, like, how the British bands, they did that with, blues too. They did that in the 60s. They kind of relaunched blues back at, like, America had started the blues sort of, and then the British bands, they kind of relaunched it back at America, and then America, like, it was sort of going back and forth as far as, because there was just a British wave of, like, new blues rock that came along in the 60s, right? And this is sort of, it's because they're from, where the hell are they from? They're from England, I think, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm
they're
not sure where, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's like English guys doing reggae punk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's an odd. Yeah. That's why it sounds so odd almost, because it's it's the.
But not for that scene, right? Yeah. I mean, you can hear it from a lot of the other artists in the time too, right? And it's just they all kind of just fed off each other, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't think these guys were part of the typical punk club of that cohort of bands that was punk rock, and I don't think these guys were buddies with them necessarily, like the New Wavers and stuff like that. Like
they just got grouped in with it, kind of.
They just emerged at the same time as like the Sex Pistols or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so they came out at the same time, but two very different kinds of punk music. Even the
there's no question there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Clash.
Yeah, the Clash or something like that, or even like the Germs or something, where they're like, well, the Germs are like punk in a different, like, they're really gnarly, right?
Yeah, so it's not a fair comparison at all, right? Maybe the Clash.
The Clash is more like it because the Clash did a lot of exploration of music and stuff. So, but I think these guys came out after the Clash, right? Because the Clash were a bit before them.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
But these guys are just a little bit too. I think people think they're too refined to be punk in a sense because they're too precise. If you're that precise, how can you really be a punk? You know, you're a perfectionist. It's all controlled.
It's really, really great production value on this album. Like it's really tight.
Yeah, and that kind of makes me think. I'm trying to remember who produced it. I can't really remember what the guy's name was.
Yeah, not sure.
But yeah, I guess we could Google it or something. But doesn't matter. I don't know who it is anyway.
You could always Bing it.
I could Bing it. I could Google it. DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, but I think you can hear the sound of all the musicians kind of got their say somehow. Like the drums aren't pushed back or anything. The drums are right there, you know, they're like up front. So the drummer, you can tell the drummer just like, and I think that was probably part of their whole issue with the egos in the band. Like I was saying, they're kind of pompous or something, but I think it was, I don't know, like you'd have to know them personally really to say that, but at the same time, that was their kind of reputation, was to be kind of, you know, they thought fairly highly of themselves, I guess.
So, well, some people might say that about you.
Yeah, no, I probably, you know, emulate this to some degree, but I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I think self-absorbed rock stars are pretty cool.
Sometimes.
Like, it depends. If I have to deal with them, then probably not. But if I, like, can just appreciate them on some level where they're playing, and then if it doesn't affect me, then I don't really care. But
right.
But all musicians have some kind of ego. But I think these guys were known for their egos, I guess. And their egos were volatile, and it kind of broke them up at some point, which is why they didn't play together for so long. Then they came back.
Yeah, well, they came back in, like, 2008 for that reunion. Yeah,
some, like, huge budget tour kind of thing where they got.
Well, actually, like Andy Summers.
Yeah, Andy Summers.
He wasn't originally the guitarist.
Right.
The guy before him.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, they had a band or something. They had some singles before this album came out, eh?
Well, I seen one single. I didn't
There's a couple. I think. Well, I think they had one single and a B-side that came out before this album came out.
Well, here, so Outlandos was released November 2nd, 1978, and that was their first album.
Yeah.
And it was 6 on the charts in the UK, 15 in Australia, 22 in Canada.
Ooh.
And 2 in France.
Oh, wow. Big in France.
But, you know, no U.S. Attention, really, at that point.
Yeah, that's what I heard, I think. It was like they weren't a big deal, like, immediately, but maybe... I think wherever they played, they basically won people over because they're
pretty great live from what I've seen.
Whenever I've seen a concert that's pretty much any of their old concerts, they're pretty awesome. Like, the energy is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff they do. For a trio, too, the full sound they can get, right? Like, it's really impressive. And saying that, too, live, the backing vocals by Summers and Copeland.
Yeah.
Is really impressive.
Yeah.
At the spots that they're doing it, too, it's like, wow. Especially Copeland, the way he's moving, it's like, wow.
Yeah, you should watch, if you haven't seen it, Stewart used to go around with, like, a camcorder for their whole early career. Yeah. And then he released a documentary, which was from the drum perspective.
Okay.
And, well, a lot of it was because he'd set up a drum. He was like one of the first vlogger guys. Like, he had a drum camera like at those huge stadium concerts, he had a camera. It was documented.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
in this documentary. It's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's called Everybody Stares or something.
Okay.
It's really good.
Huh.
I think I lost my copy, but I've seen it, and it was really neat because that was just a real new idea, I guess. Because I think at the time, I think even in the documentary, it says how it was kind of annoying to people that he always had his camera ready.
Okay.
And it's sort of like now with everyone, it's like that. And at that time, he was just whipping out his camera all the time and videoing everything. And then like 20 years later, he makes a documentary.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because people argue about, what makes them a good band and stuff. But if I'm watching a YouTube video, I'll read the comments just to see, because I like to see what people say, even if it's trolls or whatever.
Sure.
And most people are just like Stewart Copeland, like it's all Stewart Copeland comments all the way down.
I imagine.
There's occasionally like, I like Sting, but most people are like, Stewart Copeland makes this band.
Huh.
So this would be single number 3.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So yeah, the singles off it, Roxanne, Can't Stand Losing You.
Yep. So Next to You was just sort of like one of those unofficial songs that people liked so much that I think they even played on the corduroy thing.
Yeah,
where they'll play like they're not even supposed to or something, but everyone knows it so well that it's an unofficial single.
All right.
So I totally heard Next to You on the radio.
Huh.
And I don't think it's technically supposed to be or whatever. Maybe it had an unofficial single release
or something. Yeah.
But yeah, and then other just random tidbits about the Police, like I got, because Andy did a really cool, I think it was a Thelonious Monk instrumental guitar. Like he was the star of it's like his album, but it's covers album of Thelonious Monk compositions, and it's all guitar stuff, and it's just like, that's just jazz, right? Because Monk is jazz, people.
Of course, yeah.
That's the genre that he inhabits, and so it's like a tribute to him, and so you really hear the jazz guitar thing with him.
Okay.
Which he always had.
Yeah, yeah.
But in that case, it's even more slick because it's just like, typically when you're playing jazz, it's like it's more like, it's pristine kind of thing.
Yeah, they're really talented guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like it was done on a $2,000 budget.
Right.
This album. Yeah.
Which I guess these days would be like $10,000 or $20,000.
Huh.
Well, they obviously they spent time in the studio working on it, right?
Pardon me.
They spent time they obviously, you can hear the time spent on it.
Well, it says they basically just went in and whenever a band would cancel a session, they'd get in there, or whenever, after hours kind of thing. So it sounds like it was kind of really, haphazardly put together, which is incredible.
Yeah.
When you hear this, because
they pieced it together, and then this is what they got out of it.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show that you.
Oh, I love the backing vocals on this song. Oh man.
The thing with them is they actually low key are really all about backing vocals.
Yeah.
Like their backing vocals are killer because he's just so good at the harmonies.
Yeah.
And it's like the jazz harmonies too. It's like he layers them in such a way that they're unconventional.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about them. So he's got this high weird voice, and then it's weirdly layered, so you get this, when you hear the Beatles too, I guess people get that feeling or just bands that are known for harmony. Yeah. Where you're just like, "Ooh, that's really neat. What do they do there?" It's like a very musical thing.
And here they punk it up a lot more.
Yeah.
What is this? Peanuts?
No, this is Truth Hits Everybody.
Ah, that's right.
But yeah, this is a really good one of my favorites. Peanuts is pretty good too.
Yeah.
There's only a couple that I don't care for that much, but
yeah. No, it's a really solid first album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, sounds like they really just kind of pieced it together quickly.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of talent in this band.
Right. But that's the cool thing, is that they just busted it out and kind of did it But they spent, they had to. It sounds like the live off the floor sound.
Yeah.
So they probably practiced, ran in, did a song, practiced some more, ran in, did another song.
Yeah.
And then within, a few months, they just had enough tracks. And then they just did overdubs. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it doesn't sound really glossy to me. It doesn't have that super...
No, there's an edge to this,
There's
right?
edge, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is neat because all bands evolve in some way, right?
Sure.
But some bands try really hard to stick to one sound.
Yeah, the formula. Yeah.
But this was sort of, this incarnation of the Police was the only time they, to me, sounded like this. Like, they sounded really young and fresh,
Yeah.
And then they matured, and then people started kind of, they lost some people. They gained people, then they lost people. They gained more people. Because they're internationally huge, right? So they can play anywhere and be huge.
But no question, this album's got that raw energy of just a couple young dudes rocking, right? And it translates live, like, holy cow. It's, they are incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing they can pull it off. Like, these parts, the guitar parts are simple, but, like, good luck playing them.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts.
Yeah.
And Sting's a great bass player, man. There's a lot of fun riffs there.
Yeah, totally.
Put his vocals on top of it, right? I mean,
yeah, that kind of tripped me out when I first realized that he was playing bass.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, wait a minute. Because you listen to the bass lines, and it would be hard to sing and do some of this stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he pulls it off live again. Like, I was paying attention, right? I wanted to see, and it's really tight.
Yeah.
Here's this song I don't really care for, but...
Yeah, no, me too, yeah.
Born in the 50s?
You have to maybe be born in the 50s to care about it?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently.
I don't hate it, but I don't really love it or anything.
There is a lot of repetitiveness in their lyrics.
Oh, man. They're one of the most... he does these refrains that...
Well, it's the drinking song, too, right? Everybody... what is it? The turn on the red light?
Yeah.
Drink or something like that.
Yeah.
You won't last the whole song, right? Like, it's...
yeah, if you treat it like a drinking game.
Yeah, but there's a lot of repetition. Yeah,
if you do karaoke to the Police... That's the first thing you notice is that the second half of the song is just him repeating the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And, some of his lyrics are kind of dumb to me, but at the same time, who cares, I guess.
Yeah, you don't have to be...
he sings them well. They're well harmonized. They fit in the music. And so he just milks it.
Yep.
And I think if you're trying to sing it, like, as a karaoke song, you get... tired of singing the same thing over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
But he just has that ability to just make any dumb lyrics sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which is, I think I try to steal that tactic if I can, where you take something really stupid and you make it sound nice.
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah.
And then that way your stupid lyrics don't sound stupid because you're smooth about it, right? That's like
trade secrets here.
It's a trade secret, I think. Well, I mean, that's just my attempt. I try to... so if you can't help but write dumb lyrics, at least sing them in a way that people get tricked into thinking they're good for a minute. Until they look at them on a piece of paper and they're like, what the hell? Like, this is stupid. And he does that a lot, so... Yeah,
so, maybe we should be blaming them for that trend of repetition.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, this song particularly is not... my favorite, especially since it repeats that line so many times.
Exactly. Like, I would skip this song, I think, every time.
Yeah, no, I think
I didn't because I was listening for the purposes of this silly thing, but I just doesn't, there's elements in there, like there's parts here that I like, but
I think it's just the lyrics ruin it for me. The topic, because this isn't bad, but it's
like, are people just going nuts for this? Like,
I don't even know why he wrote this one, but why did he write any of them, I guess, Why
does anyone?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You write all these songs, and they're going to be Like, there's a lot of different topics. A lot of his songs are about weird interpersonal relationships. So
yeah, that's true, right? Like, I mean, already in this album, you got a lot of different weird kind of unusual lyrics. You know,
but that's a good point to bring up about him, is that a lot of his songs are sort of inappropriate in weird ways. You know, about stalking people or people stalking you, or inappropriate relations between two people, and then he throws this one in, which is kind of just like
born in the 50s.
I don't think he's trying to say it's good to be born in the 50s necessarily, but
that's what I got out of it. But
yeah, but everyone, you know, the Police also have you know that song, I think it's called Miss Gridenko or Miss Gridenko. That's off of maybe Synchronicity or something. But it's this song, like, they have these songs that I specifically don't like, to the point where I'm like, what the hell is this song? And that's one of those songs. But this song,
this is Be My Girl, right?
Yeah, I kind of don't like this one either, but because they're just
well, this has got that interesting I don't know what, your bridge or
there's like a breakdown or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's got the I guess it's Andy Summers doing that speaking.
Oh, right.
In the middle part.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
So I actually didn't mind this song that much because that made it. I mean, it's not. Again, this isn't the song that you're gonna really listen to every time, right? Because of that.
Yeah. Again, the lyrics kind of ruin it for me.
See, like, we're right into it.
Yeah, this I don't mind.
So, yeah, but like, again, this I don't think this is, you know, this is probably one that's skipped more than others, right? But it's only 3 minutes 24 seconds. So
yeah,
it's you know, and yeah,
this is sort of
that's Andy Summers.
Can you think of any songs that this reminds you of?
Yeah, at the moment the only thing I can think of is like Monty Python.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's got that British weird. But there's a couple songs. You know that one Velvet Underground song that's The Gift? It's really weird. It's like this really long song where this guy like mails himself to his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And then there's like a plot twist at the end where, you know, something weird happens. But it's like a bizarre song. Or like it seems like when people try to do these spoken word songs, it ends up being really fucked. Like people like Foxy Mop Handle Mama or something. You know that song?
No.
That's like that Pearl Jam song that's like 13 minutes long, and it's got some kid going like spank me, and it's like it's on Vitalogy. It's the last song on Vitalogy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he also does. That's the same album that has Bugs.
Yes.
So it's like two fucked up spoken word songs on the same album.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's what other albums that I'm thinking of? There's like a Fleetwood Mac song where I think they just sounds kind of like this, where there's just some British guy rambling through the song, but
but you know, and then they jump back in, right?
But I think it's one of those things where the song's so cheesy, and then it has something so kind of weird in it in the middle of it. But
yeah, I don't mind it. You know, it's but just, again, I would, you know, I don't know. It's not.
It's some serious cheese to me.
It's just a deep cut.
It's a deep cut. But I would like. I mean, I think at this point, I'm like, there's enough great songs that I don't even care that this song sucks. That's how I look at this song.
Oh yeah, so you accept the filler.
The last two songs I just skip or ignore.
Oh, you don't like Masoko?
Oh, actually, no. This one's not bad. And I don't even hate the music. I just it's his lyrics that bother me.
Oh, okay.
But not in a like serious. I don't like.
Yeah. It's just again you would.
There's songs that I hate more than that.
Sure. Oh yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, here we are on the last song.
The last song. And
you know, really, it's a pretty quick album.
Yeah, it's like a 30-something minute album.
36, I think I've seen. I don't know, I can't find it, but
yeah, this actually
38 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah.
So like, really, they pack a lot of punch in there, man. You get a lot of value for your buck here.
Yeah, back when you were paying like $2 for a tape or something. Yeah, no kidding.
No, this is definitely a classic album.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like this song. You don't like this song?
No, I do like this song. It's the two before it that I don't like.
Okay, yeah.
Not the last one.
Yeah, no, this is actually I actually think Next to You, and then this one at the end.
Yeah.
So the first and last song I think are my favorite, only because at this point I've heard the singles so much.
Yeah,
right?
you get sick of them.
Yeah, so like those two, and just diving into this album because I never really did before until we started setting this up.
Yeah.
And Next to You, I didn't really know that song.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap! Like it really blew me away. I really like that song, and then I enjoyed this song too. I'll say this too: my kids love this album.
Oh, do they?
Love it because I've been playing it around. You know, just doing stuff around the house. They would dance like crazy.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
that's a good sign.
You know, and that's a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So
yeah,
you know,
that's cool.
Yeah, this song we enjoyed dancing to. It's a workout, man.
Yeah.
It's a long song.
Those reggae bands, because there was a lot of reggae bands too at that time that were kind of at the same time, like Madness. You know that band?
No, don't know.
Yeah, you probably know a couple songs. They do that, like "Our House in the Middle of Our Street" song.
Oh, okay. And that's 70s?
That's like 70s or like early 80s.
Yeah, I would have guessed 80s, but I don't really know.
Yeah, there's like English Beat.
That sounds familiar, but I'm not. I see new wave to me is like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really gone down the road beyond the staples.
Yeah, just the hits and stuff.
Yeah.
But the English Beat's amazing. But yeah, I think of these guys not like the English Beat. They're like a English reggae band kind of thing, but like reggae with some more ska, I guess. But yeah, like cool before ska became 90s ska.
Right. Yeah.
Like when it was actually like kind of a cool, inventive, like kind of thing.
Yeah, this is like the jammy song on the album.
The Specials.
Specials are great. Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, this song's great.
This is a
really
good one.
Enjoy
it's a good jam, right?
It's a nice one to end.
Can you think of a song that like by a band where you might not be a big fan of it on the album, but then at one point they play it live and they just kill with it. Like they make it. You start to like it more because they made it cool live.
They made it cool live.
Because sometimes that happens with me where if I hear a song and I'm like, this song sucks, I'm still willing to have my mind changed if they can like tear it up live.
Yeah.
But sometimes they just can't. It's just as lame as it ever was, whatever the song is.
I don't even think I'd give it a chance if I didn't like it in the first place.
Really?
Yeah.
I always just kind of wait to see if it's going to be as like I won't if I still don't like it, and once they play it live, because this band.
That's good of you.
Because this band could possibly redeem a song, like if they have the right energy.
Huh.
Do you remember when Pearl Jam released like a bunch of live albums back in the 90s?
I know they did first because they were getting like to stop like the bootlegging of it.
Yeah, they did this thing where to me it almost was like a cash-in where I don't know what the purpose was, but they started releasing like every live concert on a CD.
No, that's what it was. So
it was to prevent bootlegging. And
they would get the proceeds of that then. Yeah,
but it's like there's always bootleggers. Why would you make every single live concert available on CD to avoid it?
Their fans eat that up.
They do.
I'm not a big Pearl Jam guy, but I have friends that are, and like part of like their fan clubs and all that. Oh yeah, like that stuff is huge.
It's a cool idea, but I think that was right at the time when maybe prior to Napster. I'm not sure, but because they literally released like 50 live albums at the same time.
Wow.
Or something like that, where it almost seemed like they were thinking like, okay, fuck these bootleggers, we're just gonna like get the money, make a bit of money off it, kind of like Metallica style, where like, not that they're sort of similar, but anyway, why did I bring that up again? Because the live thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when I listened to those live albums, they did like soundboard recording.
Yeah.
And soundboard. That was what they used to sell when they would sell bootlegs back in the 90s. They'd sell, if you got a good one, it was like a soundboard recording.
Right.
And typically those sounded like kind of like shit.
Yeah.
Because it was just the direct into the soundboard, and they're trying to, and they'd sell them for like $40. And I bought one. I bought a few of them actually, and I was just like, this is disappointing. But that wasn't the point. Is it wasn't the best representation of like a live band. I'm not sure, to bring it back to the Police, how many live albums they have, because some bands are famous for their live albums.
Yeah, I don't know that they have any, to be honest.
I'm not sure if they
probably
do.
when they had that reunion, they probably
did something.
Yeah, I imagine. But anyways, for the purpose of this, that album is pretty fucking great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's hard to fault that album too much.
And that's a real nice start to a band's career right there.
Yeah. Yeah, if they didn't start with that album, if they would have started with, like, say, the next album, it still would have been a good band, and people probably would have, gotten attached to them. But if they didn't have this album, I don't know if I would particularly listen to them.
Yeah,
much.
It's really good. I really enjoyed listening to it, and like I said, the couple cuts there that I wasn't really aware of, and just how good they are. Just a lot of energy, and it was nice to go back and hear the classics there. In
context of the albums.
Exactly.
I think back then the sequencing, that's why it's good for people to listen to the actual album.
Exactly.
But people don't want to now, so they're just like, they don't see the point to it, and I think those people fucking just should do it.
Well, I think this is a good case here
for why you should.
Yeah.
Because just listening to just the different hits and the singles and stuff, I don't think you really get it. It's like watching a movie and then never ever wanting to read the book or something. Like, some people don't read books.
Yeah.
And those people there's something wrong with people that don't read books, I think, in my opinion. It means you're, not that everyone should read a book, but there's things that are clearly the book is better, and they just won't. They don't have the patience to pick up a book.
Yeah.
It's like, there's something, I don't usually relate to those people too well, because.
So really, what we've learned is that the Police are pretty good, and that we should all read more. Well,
and also just listen to this album, because it's one of those albums that, if you're gonna be a fan of music for your whole life, it's the kind of album that will make an impact on you, probably, if you give a shit about anything at all in the world.
It should be in the catalog for sure of one's life.
If you're just a superficial person that doesn't give a shit about anything, like, I don't care what you do at all, but if you have any empathy, or if you care about music at all, you should probably listen to that album. Not that it's the best album of all time, but it could be one of your favorite albums if you care about bands that actually put together music. And but anyway, so
we hope you enjoyed listening to this, and we're gonna do it again soon. Hopefully, we do this, in a kind of a once
every
a
2 years.
Or
once
something.
Every 2. Yeah, once a month.
We'll start there, once a month, and see how it goes. But again, I'm Jerry, and this is Dave from Suburban Bicycle Gang, and you can check out our stuff at suburbanbicyclegang.com, or you can go to Spotify, and our album that was out, just put out this year, is on there. Mm-hmm. So you can listen to our full album, just like you should listen to this album, The Police here. So check us out, and
if you want to talk trash, take part in the YouTube comments. Go on there, tell us because you can't comment on the Spotify. So the songs aren't on the. So we actually know they should be on YouTube Music, but I don't think you can comment on them. Okay. So if you have a hateful comment, you have to come onto the channel and then leave it on another video.
You gotta really have a hateful, like, you really gotta have some hate on.
Yeah.
To hop over.
But you should make the effort, spread the hate, bring it over to the YouTube channel, and give us a good dislike, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.